Hello, ma'am.
Are you able to hear me?
Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am.
Yes. Now am I audible?
No, ma'am, your voice is very feeble.
Now see if I am audible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just tell what are you saying.
Shall I start with my presentation, ma'am?
Yeah. Sure, you can start.
Ma'am, I'm unable to share my screen.
Now please try.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible and is my audio and video clear?
Yes, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, all. I'm Manushri from the Data Engineer Department from Hakweda is here to present my project, which is basically an overview of the synopsis. That is, it is just an stock market prediction machine learning model which I've used. Okay, so it's just a synopsis which doesn't include any demo. So now let's get into it. So throughout this session, I'll be sharing about what are all the supervised machine learning algorithms can be incorporated while developing a stock market prediction model, and then followed by the feature engineering techniques, which what are all the features can be imbibed in order to create a stock market prediction model, and then followed by the model evaluation in order to check whether the model which we have developed is efficient or not, then followed by the benefits of the predictive modeling in the stock market, and then followed by the future works which can be developed from rather than the given methodology from the synopsis, and then followed by the limitations. Now let's get into it. Supervised learning algorithms for predictive modeling. So what is basically supervised learning algorithm? Supervised learning algorithm is nothing but it's just an assistant which learns things by looking at the examples. Now, for example, let me say that I give a dog picture to my robot and I say that this is the dog. So what it does, it just learns from that picture stating that having a ears and a nose and eyes, such that, so what these kind of features desire that it is a dog. So after learning and feeding all these pictures of dog, when I give a new picture of a dog, it will be able to decide that it is a picture of a dog. So this is known as, and this is a simple example of a supervised learning algorithm. That is, it is nothing but a machine or a robot learns by itself from examples. So this is a supervised learning algorithm. So under supervised learning algorithm, we have linear regression, decision tree, and random forest. Now let us consider each one of them and let's see what are they about. Linear regression. So linear regression is nothing but it is a supervised learning algorithm, of course, where we use in the cases of the to check the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. So let me give a very simple example of it. So let us take a teacher and a student. So the teacher is not dependent on the student, but the student is dependent on the teacher. So here, the independent variable is the teacher and the dependent variable is the student. So to check or to correlate the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable, we use linear regression. So in the cases of checking the relationship between a dependent variable and an independent variable, we use linear regression. And then decision tree. Now decision tree, here under decision tree, it's like it comes like in a tree structure. So let us take the same example. Now let us consider a school. Okay, so under school, will the school will be able to function itself? No. So it has a staff under it. So under staffs, they have non-teaching staffs followed by the students. So each feature comes one below the other, forming a tree-like structure. So at these cases, we use a decision tree in order to learn a very complex relationship models. And then followed by the random forest. Random forest is same as decision tree, but not exactly. Here we use it to build ensembling model techniques where the overfitting rate is very high. I hope you were able to understand what is supervised learning algorithm and the three main supervised learning algorithm under it. Now let's get into the feature engineering technique. Now, what is feature engineering? Now, in order to explain feature engineering in a very simple terms, let us consider I'm going to prepare a dish for my dinner. So, will I be able to prepare a dish just like that? No. I should prepare what are all the features I need in order to prepare my dinner. So, I'll be selecting each and every items in order for me to prepare my dish. So collecting and recalling what are all the items I require in order to prepare my dish is known as feature engineering. So it's nothing but just selecting what are all the suitable features I need in order to prepare a well-developed model. So in stock market prediction, we need the prehistoric data, which consists of the time and the time interval between an increased value and a decreased value, and the time at which it went to a very steep, or the time interval at which it went, the amount of the money went to a very high rise. So these are all the features where we are selecting to predict a model or to develop a model. So this feature engineering consists of three main things under it. That is, first the feature selection, followed by the data transformation, and then followed by the feature extraction. So feature selection, as I said earlier with a very simple example, feature selection. So I'll be just picking up my items for preparing my dish. So just picking up my items, I will not be able to prepare my dish. I must first transform it to a very sliced forms. I must first select the vegetables which I need, and then followed by the transformation of those vegetables into a smaller pieces, so that I'll be able to cook it a little bit faster, and then followed by the feature extraction. That is what kind of dish I have extracted through the process. So this is known. So this is a simple definition or simple example which I have given in order to understand deeply about this feature engineering process. That is, first we will be selecting what are all the features we need, and then we will be transforming those features into the features like rows or columns or into a pictorial representation in order to develop or in order to make the data fit into that particular algorithm, and then followed by extracting the data or extracting the analysis from those features. So this is known as feature engineering. Now, after feature engineering, we need to evaluate the model. How will we able to evaluate the model? We need some prediction accuracies or the factors which we can easily predict whether the model which we have developed is right or wrong, whether it is accurate or inaccurate, right? So this is known as model evaluation. So in order to explain about the model evaluation in a very simple terms is the teacher keeps us test to check whether we have understood the subject well or not. So it's just a very simple concept of model evaluation. So let us see how model evaluation is being deployed here in the machine learning techniques. So the first factor which we normally use, or where the maximum people use for evaluating their model, is the cross validation. So cross validation is nothing but we'll be dividing the data set into two, that is the training data set and into a testing data set. So using the training data set, we will be preparing, or we will be developing the model, and using the left out 20% of the testing data set, we will be testing whether the model has been developed right or wrong, whether it is accurate or inaccurate. So when 100% of data set has been given, it is split it into two, that is 80% and 20%, where 80% will be used for training the model and the 20% will be used for testing the model. So this is simply known as cross validation. And then followed by it, we have the validation metrics. So there are various validation metrics. Some of them are the mean square error, root mean square error, and the R square coefficient. So mean square error, now let's see what mean square error is. Mean square error is nothing but we'll take up the points which we have predicted and which is already there in the data set. So we will be comparing the predicted value and the already existing value in the data set, and the error value between the 2 points, that is the square distance value between the 2 points, will give whether a value is too high or too low, or it is approximately equal to the value which is in the data set. So this is known as mean square value. And R square coefficient value. R square coefficient value is nothing. It consists of values between 0 to 1. So when the value is mostly nearer to 0 or exactly 0, it tells us that, it infers us that the model is developed very accurately. Or when the value is nearer to 0, it is approximately correct. But when the value is 0, it tells us that the model which we have developed is not totally correct, and it just indicates us the failure of the model. So R square value belongs from 0 to 1, and then followed by the hyperparameter tuning. Hyperparameter tuning, in order to explain about the hyperparameter tuning, now let us consider about the same example which I had given earlier, that is the preparation of a dish. So when they have given that only the salt and the vegetables gives helps us in developing a dish, but still I can add some masalas extra more in order to extract a very tasty, delicious food. So that is, I'll be able to add my own features or my own adjustments in the dish in order to develop or predict a more efficient data. So this is known as hyperparameter tuning. I'll be adjusting my parameters either low or too high in order to obtain a very well efficient answer. I hope you were able to understand what model evaluation exactly is and the various techniques which we can use in order to evaluate a model. Now let's get into the benefits of predictive modeling. So why we should predict the stock market and what's the usage of it? So for this question, this is the answer. By predicting the stock market, we will be able to make the decisions faster. We will be able to invest our money in a very short period of time so that we will be able to have a very good gain in our later future. So faster decision making is a very important factor of predictive modeling in the field of stock market, and then followed by the improved ROI. That is, we will be able to make a better investment decisions so that we will not get any loss in our investments. So in order to gain only profits and without any loss, we will be able to gain more profits, right? So here, by predicting the future stock market, we will be able to gain more profits. So at this point, stock market predictive modeling plays a very important and a key role, and then followed by diversification. Diversification really helps stock market holders or the businessmen to invest their stocks or to sell their stocks in order to gain very well obtained profits. So at these 3 points, the predictive modeling plays a really, really very important role in the stock market investigation. Now let's see what are all the future works can be done in the stock market investigation, that is the big data analytics. So big data analytics, what is big data? Any data which is very, very large in its amount or its volume is known as big data. So usually in order to develop a stock market prediction is not really very easy, because the prehistorical data which we are obtaining in order to make a supervised machine learning to learn is really very huge in volume, not hundreds, not billions, but it's really very huge in volume, and then followed by the improved models. So the improved models, which are the various algorithms which I said earlier, that is the linear regression, the dependent and the independent variable, and those 3 algorithms which I'll be able to deploy it. But instead of following the other 3 algorithms, the usual 3 algorithms which is being used, new algorithms can be introduced in order to improve or in order to develop a more perfect model, followed by the increased accessibility. So usually it is a very complex process in order to develop a stock market prediction. So more feasible tools which is available in the online can be used in order to create this model. The challenges and the limitations of predictive modeling in stock market investigation. So it consists of 3 main things, that is the data quality. So the prehistoric data which we are getting from the stock market, that is the prehistoric data from the early stock market which we are getting, must be of quality, so that when our supervised machine learning learns from it, it must be able to develop a very perfect model. But the data quality which is available earlier is not that much of a very quality type. So at here it lags, where we lag in developing a predictive modeling for a stock market. And the model complexity, so it just doesn't contain of the rows and columns. The data is really very complex in various forms, so the complexity in its structure and the model is really makes us even more difficult in order to develop the model. And then followed by the risk management. So though we evaluate the model and we evaluate that it's very accurate or inaccurate, but still there is a very small self-doubt in the investors, whether we can just thoroughly believe in this model and invest our stocks into it, where there are chances of getting profits and also parallelly there are chances of getting loss. So data quality, model complexity, and risk management are the 3 main limitations what we face while developing this model. Summary. So first we have had a look at how we will be collecting and pre-processing the data, followed by the various machine learning algorithms which I've explained it earlier. And then after doing the machine learning algorithms, we have learned how to evaluate these machine learning using the cross validation, using the various root mean square technique and the hypertuning. We will be able to evaluate the model which we have developed, and followed by the advantages of this future stock market prediction and various limitations which were involved in it. So Investopedia, Yahoo Finance, and Bloomberg are very good reference sources where we can use those data sets and the available information from them in order to predict or to develop our own stock market prediction. So Investopedia is which I have got impressed into it, where the tutorials and the articles were really very helpful for developing the model. So is there any questions? Thank you.
Manushri, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Please, can you be a little bit louder?
Yes, yes. Yes, I'm asking, please, can you let me know that your presentation is scheduled for today?
No, ma'am. My presentation was scheduled on 16th August, but due to certain unavoidable circumstances, I was not able to continue for 1 week, and it got postponed to 22 because I was there in my NCC camp where they didn't allow any smartphones.
Okay, no problem. So actually your topic was overview of the project synopsis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so I have a question. Do you know that if our data set that is given is in the form of array or matrix, then what Python library you will use to convert it into rows or columns?
There's a software which is known as Data IQ, where it is easy for the data engineers to convert the data set given to us into rows or columns now. It's one of the software which I know.
Okay, and you have any idea about the Python library? Because machine learning is basically totally depend on Python. So any idea?
Yes, ma'am. The pandas library is very well useful in
Okay.
converting the data set into rows and columns.
Okay. Rest your presentation was quite good. You delivered it nicely, and your flow was also maintained as it is used to be. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, but I have a doubt in the intern tracker, which I was not able to solve. Shall
Yes.
I stop my screen and ask you about it?
Okay, sure.
So my probation thing was changed into you are eligible for the paid internship. So now what should I do if I request for the paid internship? What is the procedure I should follow?
Did you request for the probation letter?
No, ma'am, but my friend did it. She just received a certificate of completion, it seems. She didn't receive anything more.
Okay, so I will suggest try once contacting more to technical support. I will to talk them, okay? Because the whole process is handled by them, okay? So I will also talk.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Next, we have Nidhi. You can start your presentation.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. You can start.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Nidhi. I'm from Cloud Computing Group, and today my topic is on project curriculum. So, these are the points that we will be following throughout our PPT. First, we will start with an introduction, the challenges faced, solution of those challenges, security, financial efficiency for the AWS future, and we'll end our presentation with the conclusion. So, let's start. So, in first slide, revolutionizing curriculum management with AWS. So let me just explain you with this example. Let's say we have in a school named Collegiate School. So my presentation is basically on how AWS changed the project curriculums or generally curriculum of the school. So let's say they have knowledge of AWS. So how they used to solve their problems, and after introducing AWS to the teachers, how they used to solve problems now. So the challenges, that means if AWS was not in existence, these were the challenges faced by the teachers, every teacher of every subject. First one is fragmented data across platforms. Let's say we have 2-3 teachers. One of the teachers stores her data in Drive, another in Dropbox, or the third teacher stores his or her data in local servers. So every teacher is storing their data according to their own preferences. That means they have a lack of collective data sharing, which was literally a problem. Let's say once the fourth teacher come and he or she want to access the data, but the data that was shared by those 3 teachers were in different servers. So it will be a really problem for the fourth teacher to access the data because that was not in a collective format. Next problem was limited access to shared resources. As I already told you again, because they were storing their data in different preferences. So if the fourth teacher comes, or even if the first teacher want to access the data of the second teacher, they were having the storage problems. And the third one is struggling with remote learning. Let's say during a rainy season or during snow, children were not able to come to the school. So we have to shift to the education to online education. But because of inadequate server infrastructure, because normally schools don't have such server infrastructure, because normally IT companies or the companies which have knowledge of servers, all these information are stored by them. But teachers or the school don't have knowledge about servers and how to maintain their infrastructure, everything. So there was really a little hard problem for them to share education with the students if it's a snow day or the students are not able to come to the school. So these were the challenges faced by the student as well as the teachers when AWS was not in the room. When AWS comes, so these were the solutions given by the AWS. Unified storage with AWS. That means we have an option called S3 bucket. It's basically a service of AWS. S3 bucket is just like a file where you can store your data, irrespective of its format, whether it's a file, whether it's audio or a video or a code, anything you can store in a folder, and that folder is named as S3 bucket. So if the geography teacher or the maths teacher or the science teacher, they want to store their data, now they have one platform or one folder where everyone can store their data, irrespective of the format they want to store it. They can just simply upload their data and that's done. Nothing special coding is required for this. Next is real-time analytics through QuickSight. Now again, QuickSight is also one of the services of AWS. So let's say principal of school would immediately see which courses were accessed most frequently. QuickSight, just like you can see the photo, it basically gives you an overview of the followings, like what has happened in the last week, what we have to perform in the next week, what changes were made in the curriculum, what new teachers were adding in the subjects, which students were absent, everything. Instead of maintaining them in their registers, the QuickSight, which is an AWS service, can easily do you in seconds and in a more productive manner. Last one is automation and notification via Lambda. Lambda is also again an AWS service. So let's say students haven't test, and let's say a teacher forgot about the test. So instead of telling every student of every class about the test being postponed, what they can do is just upload the code to Lambda, and every student will get the notification on their own. They will receive automatic receive notifications. They need not to know about the code running behind the services of these AWS. They just need to simply use them. So next feature of AWS is security and compliance. First one is AWS security protocols. Now, when your data is not in your registers, basically it's on your servers now. Here, data being lost or being encrypted form is very important. Whether it is in transition form or whether it is in REST form, data need to be encrypted, particularly of a school, because there are many competitors, whether it's of a company or if it's of a school, competition is everywhere. So every other competitor wants to store their data. So instead of doing that, what AWS provides us with so many features of AWS, and one of them is security protocols where data is secured in an encrypted format. Next one is access control. So there is a feature of AWS called IAM, which stands for Identity and Access Management. So with the help of IAM will see who is an authorized user and who is not. Whether if it's an unauthorized user, IAM will not provide any information to the user. So through this, we can secure our data in a more productively manner as compared to on the registers. So financial efficiency. So earlier, if AWS was not there, principal or the school has to spend a lot in their cost. But because of the AWS pay-as-you-go model was introduced, that means if you are using the service of AWS, you have to pay for that. Let me just explain you with an example. Let's say you have a company and your company is producing 10 terabytes of data every single day. So you need to have that much storage in your company or in your school to store that much amount of data every single day. It's gonna pay, you have gonna pay a lot for the 10 terabytes of data. So let's say you have bought the servers and you are uploading your data, 10 terabytes of data on your server. In the next month, you are only having 500 MB of data. That means the servers that you bought earlier are now wasted. There is no use of them. So what will be the use of those servers now? They are inefficient now. But because of AWS, you have to pay for what you use. If you are using for 500 MB of data servers, you have to pay for that only. If you are using for 10 terabytes, you have to pay for that only. So it significantly reduced the unwanted cost. So because of pay-as-you-go model, the schools were able to adjust their budgets more efficiently. Next is cost management tools. So there are many tools provided by AWS so that they can monitor how much they have spent Like it's a service, one of the service of AWS is CloudWatch, through which you can do is, if you have reached your cost up to 80%, it will give a notification that you have reached your cost up to 80%. You need to either slow down or increase your budget. Now it's not like you are paying and you are not knowing what you have paid for and there is a money going. Every single data is being stored in AWS with the cost management tools. So you are now able to monitor and control your cost more efficiently. Next is economies of scale. Now, if you're not spending money in unwanted resources, now you can use that money. For example, in case of school, the school can use the money in hiring new teachers or increasing co-curricular activities for students. So instead of wasting on the servers, now you have more economies of scale. Broader implications for education, empowering school economy. So it was AWS, which was introduced to a school which is simple and holy child school, which is normally a very basic school. So if a school can transform its education and upscale its resources at that much level, if AWS is introduced in every school, in every institution, you can imagine how schools will be empowered, how education will be empowered. Next is blended learning. Instead of using traditional ways of like bookish knowledge of only doing practice on registers and taking tests in the form of notebooks or in the form of pages, what we can do is just shift them in the online mode, and checking of those test papers or exams will be much easier, saving a lot of time. So blended learning is really an efficient tool in the modern day education. Next is global collaboration. A simple school can also globally collaborate with the international schools. International schools have their own features, but normal school don't have those much features. But with the AWS, they can collaborate very easily and more effectively. The future expansion plans to integrate AWS is planning more and more about the services that is adding nowadays. In nowadays, AWS has around 200 around of services, and every single time they are expanding their services to make it more efficient to the user. Innovation, because of AWS vast infrastructure, normal traditional classroom can be considered as a virtual classrooms, which will be a more engaging classroom for the students. Community building. So because of AWS, students, teachers, and parents are effectively able to communicate with each other, which was a difficult problem in a traditional form. So conclusion, Holy Child's transition to AWS exemplifies the potential of cloud solution. If a school like Holy Child, which is a normal basic school, can transform itself at a vast scale using cloud solution, so can you imagine if all the schools infrastructures adopt this kind of new technology of cloud computing, how booming will be the education nowadays. So because of AWS, now education can be future ready, can be more enhanced experience for the students, for the teachers, and as well as for the parents. So thank you. Open for further questions and discussions. Ma'am, I'm done.
Yes, Nidhi. Your presentation is quite well. Can you tell me that what is the maximum and the minimum limit of S3 in AWS?
Yes, sir. S3 has 100 buckets per account. You can increase those buckets as per your own requirements, but you have to pay for them. But for by default, with an account, we are provided with 100 buckets, and one bucket can store up to 5 terabytes of data.
Right. But rest everything was fine. I will provide your feedback and scores on your email.
Sure.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You can stop.
Okay.
Next, we have Sneha.
Yes,
Snehanjali. Yes, you can start your presentation.
I'm audible, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Sneha.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible as well as visible.
Myself, Mitta Snehanjali. I'm from Artificial Intelligence Group. I'm here to deliver a presentation about implement image segmentation algorithm. Let's get started. Let's see what is the table of contents. Image segmentation, types of image segmentation techniques, cluster-based segmentation, crop distribution monitoring, satellite imagery, use cases of satellite imagery, code, SLIC algorithm. Have you ever wondered while using the image processing techniques? Let's see what image segmentation means. Image segmentation is commonly used technique in digital image processing and analyzing about images. It can be, this involves separating foreground from background or clustering regions of pixels based on similarities of color or shape. Let's see what are the types of image segmentations. There are mainly three types of image segmentation. They are semantic segmentation. Firstly, it involves arranging the pixels in the image based on semantic classes. In this diagram, we can see that vehicles of car, bus, and is segmented as one object, and the building is segmented another object. Trees also segmented in another object. In instance segmentation, same class as different objects. Here we can see there are 5 persons, but it's segmented person wise, person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, person 5. Let's see next another segmentation, panoptic segmentation. It is the combination of other two. In this, we can clearly see that it's segmented well than two other segmentations. Let's see what are the image segmentation techniques. There are many image segmentation techniques. Some of them are edge-based segmentation, threshold-based segmentation, region-based segmentation, cluster-based segmentation, watershed segmentation. Let's see what means edge-based segmentation. Edge-based segmentation is nothing but it divides the segment with edges. Threshold-based segmentation. It is based on the contrast of the color. If there is a black and white, then it can easily segmented. Region-based segmented. It can combine all the regions and get segmented. Cluster-based segmentation. This can be segmented while using clusters. Watershed segmentation. It is typically used in cluster-based segmentation. These algorithms are unsupervised classification algorithms. It identifies hidden information in images. It divides images into clusters of pixels with similar characteristics, separating data elements and grouping to similar elements into clusters. Crop distribution monitoring. Utilizing advanced image segmentation algorithms, we can see agriculture authorities and researchers analyze satellite imagery to identify, access, and visualize different crop types and their distribution in various regions. Satellite imagery. Satellite imagery is also known as satellite remote sensing. It is the process of using satellite imagery to gather information about the Earth's surface, atmosphere, and oceans and other many elements. This technology involves the use of satellites equipped with specialized sensors and cameras that can capture high-resolution images of the Earth from space. Use cases of satellite imagery. There are many use cases of satellite imagery. Some of them are here. Monitoring crop health. We can view by the image the growth of the crop. Prediction of growth stage and yield. We can see the growth and yield of the crop. Accessing weather patterns. We can access the weather patterns for crop. Soil monitoring. We can see how the soil is there. Crop distribution monitoring. We can also distribute the crop. Crop distribution monitoring. Firstly, we need to download the image of which we need to crop distribution. Then we need to install the required libraries. I have installed the stereo and the scikit image. Next, the code will be this. SLIC algorithm. What does this mean? SLIC means simple linear iterative clustering. It generates superpixels by clustering pixels based on their color similarity and proximity in the image plane. It is done in 5-dimensional space, that is lab XY, which means CLab process. Lab XY means it is 3 colors of lab, and XY means X plane and Y plane. These are the distance methods which are used in SLIC algorithm. They are N, K, n by k is equals to root of n by k. What does means n? N means number of pixels in the input image. K means number of superpixels used to segment the input image. N by k means approximate size of each superpixel. For S equals to root of n by k. For roughly equally sized superpixels, there would be superpixel center at every grid interval S algorithm. Firstly, we define k can be given k, we can calculate S. Next, we can make a grid of initial points. Means the image can be sorted into grids and then which are spaced by S. These are our initial locations of means. Each pixel can be represented as lab XY, where lab is a C-lab space which is perpetually uniform for the same color distance. D lab equals to, these are the equivalent distance formulas which is used for this algorithm. Here, D lab equals to root of Li minus Lj whole square plus Ai minus Aj whole square plus Bi minus Bj whole square. Distance of xy is equals to root of xi minus xj whole square plus yi minus yj whole square. Next, ds is equals to both the combination of this with m by s. Here m is a parameter which weights the xy distance. Let's see what is the code and explanation and the code execution. Here, firstly, I have downloaded the image and I saved the delhi.aiff in content folder. Firstly, I installed the required libraries. Here are rastereo and scikit-image. Rastereo is used. Rastereo is a library which is used to read or write the raster data. Scikit-image is used for image processing. I have installed these both libraries. Then the code explanation. I have imported the rastereo. From rastereo.plot, I have imported the showcase. This show the plot area. From rastereo.futures, I have imported the shapes. From numpy, I have import numpy as np. From skimage.segmentation, I have imported the SLIC algorithm. From MATLAB, matplot library.pyplot as PLT. Then I have defined the function and I have placed the image. I have opened the rastereo. I have opened the image with the rastereo. Then I have reshaped them. I have performed the segments equals to, I have performed the SLIC algorithm. Then I have showed in the pixel size meters and hectares. And this is the main method, which here the path is set. By executing this, I can get the output. We can see the output is like this. Here the crop distribution. I have given 100. Here I have given n segment equals to 100. Therefore, I get crop type 100 types. Area equals to in hectares. If we change here, in segments equals to 10. Then we can see there are only 10 crop types and their areas. This is the difference while using n segments. And they have plotted the graph. Here in x-axis, the crop type and the area in hectares. These are the references I have used. Any questions? Thank you, one and all.
Okay. Yes, Neha, your presentation was good and your flow was
Yes.
also maintained. I will
Yes, ma'am.
provide you feedback on your email, okay? As well as your
Okay, ma'am.
scores. Okay.
Okay,
Do you have
ma'am.
any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
Next
you.
we have Sivasri. You can start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am, I will share. Ma'am, is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Ma'am, is anything visible?
No, I can see black screen only. It's the end of slideshow. Please try to share entire screen.
Okay, ma'am. Now is it visible, ma'am?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Good evening, ma'am. My project is reading CSV data and plotting candlestick patterns in Python. Uh, these are my contents. Introduction, what is CSV file, candlestick patterns, purpose of using candlestick patterns, plotting candlestick patterns, and followed by demo, advantages and disadvantages, conclusions and reference. Okay. Data-driven insights empower financial professionals with accurate and timely information. Investors can make more informed decisions based on historical trends, market sentiment, and economic indicators. Traders can identify potential opportunities and might get risks with a deeper understanding of market. Modern data tools provide real-time insights into market movements and news. Now, what is CSV file? CSV files consist of rows and columns forming a table-like structure. Each line represents a row and values within a row are separated by commas. CSV files are plain text files, making them human readable and easy to edit with basic text editors. This simplicity promotes interoperability between different software platforms. And CSV files are frequently used for storing data like spreadsheets, databases, and data logs. Data can be imported, exported, and manipulated using various software tools. Libraries like pandas can use manipulation capabilities for CSV data. Next, candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns offer insights into market sentiment and potential trend chains. Traders use them to identify entry and exit points, confirm trends, and manage risk. Patterns can indicate price reversals, trending continuations, or period consolidations. Candlestick patterns reveals the psychological struggle between buyers and sellers. Uh, Long wicks can signify intense buying or selling pressure at certain price levels. Patterns provide use visual representation of market sentiment and human behavior. Manual recognition requires practice and understanding. Automated pattern recognition tools and algorithms are available for efficient analysis. Candlestick patterns are not foolproof and can lead to false signals. Their accuracy depends on the market conditions and should be used in conjunction with other analysis methods. Traders and analysts use candlestick patterns to make informed trading decisions. Combining pattern analysis with technical indicators and fundamental data enhances decision making. And next is purpose of using candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns are essential tool in technical analysis. They provide a visual representation of market sentiment and potential trend changes. And while not infallible, their interpretation, when they combine with other analysis techniques, can contribute to successful trading strategies. Patterns can validate existing trends, enhancing trend follow strategies. When pattern align to the trend, they reinforce the likelihood of its continuation. Traders use candlestick patterns to determine optical entry or exit levels. By recognizing patterns failure points, traders limit potential losses if a trade goes against the prediction. Candlestick patterns can cater to various trading horizons. Next, uh, candlestick patterns are two types. One is bullish and bearish, and third one is neutral. Uh, these are some pictures I gathered from internet. And common candlestick patterns are dozy, hammer, engulfing pattern, morning star, and evening star. I would like to present my demo. Is it visible, ma'am?
Demonstration part is not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. First, we have to install Y Finance and MPL Finance. And coming to the again. This is my output, ma'am. According to code, import Y finance as YF and MPL finance as MPF. Uh, this this Y finance imports library which allows to fetch historical stock data from Yahoo Finance. Import MPL finance as MPF. This imports the MPL finance library which is used to plotting financial charts including candlestick charts. The code will fetch historical stock data for Bank of Baroda from January 1, 2023 to August 1, 2023. It will then plot a candlestick chart using MPL Finance with Bank of Baroda stock price data visualized in candlestick format. This chart will have little Bank of Baroda candlestick chart, and a y-axis is the label price. The candlestick chart will show each day's open, high, low, and close prices, allowing you to visualize the price movements over the specified time period. This is the output. I will come back to the presentation. Okay, coming to the conclusion, candlestick pattern provide a powerful tool set for traders and analysts. They aid in predicting trends, managing risk, and timing trades. By mastering these patterns, traders can competitive edge in understanding market sentiment and making informed decisions. Data-driven insights revolutionize decision making in financial markets. In an era of information overload, extracting actionable insights from data is a competitive advantage. Professionals who can harness data effectively gain a deeper understanding of markets, yielding improved outcomes and strategic advantage. These are my references. If any questions, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, your presentation was quite good. I want to address certain things. First, I guess you will be provided with the data set in your
Yes.
task.
Yes,
So when you start your presentation, so try to show that data set in the beginning. Okay, I guess it will be consisting of open, close, high, low prices. Am I right? Yeah, so try to just explain it, because once who is listening to you would able to have a clear understanding that what you are actually plotting. And the next thing, the output that you got, that graph, actually it's not clearly visible. If it is possible for you to add certain Python libraries and adding angles and make it little wider, so that you can have the clear picture of the types of candlestick patterns you talked about, like dozy, hammer. They were not clearly visible. Okay. So from next time when you are working on such projects or task, then try to give some angles through Python library so that output can be clear. Rest presentation was good. I will provide these scores on your email.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, I have some doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, I presented all my tasks and projects, but it's still showing that pending in Intent Tracker, ma'am.
On where? On task, or your presentations are not uploaded on the Intent Tracker?
On tasks and on presentations also, ma'am.
Till now you have given presentations that are not uploaded on Intent Tracker. Did you check?
Ma'am.
Okay, we have two tabs. One is of task progress. So it might possible that on task progress you might be getting 0%. It will be updated. You don't need to worry about it. But if your presentations are not, did you receive the emails about your scores up to now? Presentations you have given?
Actually, I got only one task marks, ma'am.
Okay, you can contact to on technical support. They will show you the
Actually,
data.
I contacted ma'am, but they said it will show you like that. We will update it, ma'am. But till 1 month it's completed, it's not getting updated, ma'am.
Okay, so this is your which number task? Means up
This
to
is
now how
my
much?
fourth project, I mean fourth or fifth project.
Until now you have not got any of the
Only one project
only
is
one.
updated as completed. All four of us pending, ma'am.
Okay, I will check once and I will just see what is the issue. If it's possible for me, I will talk to technical support.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Next we have Utsav. You can start your presentation.
Ma'am, good evening. I do not have a presentation. I just wanted to ask that it's been 5 days. I have requested a new task. I haven't received any task till now. My batch started on 16th.
On 16th June.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So
so if,
I had my welcoming session. Sir said that you will automatically be allocated a task.
so
But
did you request it ना? आपने
no,
request तो
ma'am.
दी थी?
Ma'am, actually, sir said that you will automatically get a task allocated to yourself.
No,
You don't have to
no,
request it by
actually you
yourself.
have to request it by yourself. Then
Okay,
only you
ma'am.
will be allotted with the task. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Next we have Pratik. You can start your presentation. Pratik, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm visible, ma'am.
Actually not.
Now, ma'am.
Nah, yeah. Now you're visible.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. My screen is visible, ma'am.
Your screen is not. Yes, perfect. Now it's visible.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, one and all. My name is Pratik Manoj Raut, and I am from D.Y. Patil College of Engineering of CSE with a specialization of AI/ML, and I am currently a intern of machine learning and deep learning. Um, Welcome to my presentation. My presentation topic was predictive modeling for a student and the math score. Here is my content and flow of a presentation. First of all, I explain the task introduction to me, and then data set introduction, and then building the predictive model, and then key predictive and model evaluation, then demonstration of my work, then conclusion and recommendation, then references, and then Q&A session. Uh, I allotted a task of a predictive modeling of a student performance of a math score. First of all, let us understand about the what is predictive modeling. Predictive modeling is the mathematical process that aims to predict the future event or outcome based on the past behavior. Let's understand better with the example. Suppose I am a businessman and I want to predict the sales of my particular product and customer based on the customer interest of a product and feedback. As a businessman, I will able to predict whether it is a profitable or not. Uh, that's it. That's all about the predictive modeling. What it actually is. Then we have a introduction of a student performance and data set. I allotted from the Kaggle. I allotted from the data set. This data set is available on Kaggle. that contain the information of a student academic performance, that contain the thousand row and 9 column, 1,000 row and 9 column. Then we do the data exploration on that data. Before developing the predictive model, we explain the correlation between the distributive models and features, identified potential, and then data collection. Various surveys and questionnaires were used to collect the data of a student, including their family background, such as parental level of education, parental level of education, race, gender, etc. I want to show the data set also. Uh, Here is my data set that contain the 1,000 column, 1,000 row and 9 column. Column contain gender, race, ethnicity, parental level, lunch, and test preparation, math score, reading score, and writing score. Uh, then back to my presentation. Here you can also see the my data set I included in my PPT. Then then building the model. Building the model contain the three supervised machine learning. Supervised machine learning technique means supervised machine learning that works on the label data set to predict the output. Here we have the three supervised machine learning technique: decision tree, logistic regression, and random forest. Machine learning algorithm. What is the decision tree? Machine learning algorithm that that break down into the data set or into the smaller subset of various criteria. Then we have a logistic regression, a statistical model for analyzing the data set that can examine relationship between the various factors, variable over in a student performance data set. Then we have the random forest algorithm, a machine learning algorithm technique that creates a multiple decision tree and combine them to improve the accuracy. Then we have key predictor and the model evaluation. Here we have the identify the key predictor, then model evaluation matrix, and the feature selection technique. In identify key predictor, we have using the feature selection technique to we identify the key predictor that values the most significant impact on the predicting the scores of the student, scores of the student. Then model evaluation technique. Model evaluation technique, by evaluating the metrics such as the accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score, we can compare and identify the effective model for predicting the math score. Then we have the their precision, accuracy. What exactly accuracy? Accuracy is the fundamental metrics that measure the proportion of a correct prediction out of the total. And then we have the precision. Precision is the that focuses on the accuracy and the accuracy of the positive prediction. Then we have the recall. Recall means that identifies the model's ability to identify the relevant instance of a actual positive cases. Then F1 score. F1 is the harmonic mean of a precision. Then we have the feature selection technique. Features technique that recursive evaluation and the principal component analysis. Then they can help identify the relevant predictor and reducing the improving model performance. Then then we have the demonstration side. I would like to demo my work live. My screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Just wait. First of all, importing all the imported library required for the further process. That is pandas, matplotlib, and seaborn. Then load the dataset and print by the by the pandas library, that is student performance .cv. Here we can see the our data is loaded and the print. Then exploring the dataset. Here is the head of my dataset. You can see the column that contain the groups and the parental level, lunch, test preparation score, math score, reading score, and writing score. Then we info about the our data set that contain columns and that are all null columns, and that data type are objects and integers. Exploring more about data set, that how many students take the preparatory classes. Here we can see the by the pie chart classes for classes, and 64.2% takes don't take any classes. Then we have the three preference score: math score, reading score, and writing score. Then we have calculated and add them to the average column with the math score, reading score, and writing score, getting the further score of a math here we can see that average score column is added. Then we do the histogram for here we can see the score and the writing score. Reading score is the skews and matrices. Skew is a measure of asymmetry, and on other hand, kurtosis is the measure of distribution. Here we are do the histogram. Then we describe the data with a math score, reading score, and writing score. Score is validate the test prepared score. Here we can see that there is a student who completed the classes that score more than the who don't. Here we can also see the reading score who completed the class score more than the who don't completed the course. Here also the writing score. Then we have the pie plot. Here is a pie plot distribution, which is the correlated with the all the score: reading score, writing score, and the average score. Then we have the score with the lunch type. Here we can see the math score. Who take a standard lunch are score more, and who take a free and reduced score, who that score less. Here also the reading, who takes a standard lunch scores also good in the reading score, and also in the writing score. Then we have the scores for the ethnicities group. Ethnicities group. There we have the five groups. Uh, uh, Here we can see that the group E scores more as compared to the all, and group A score less. Then reading score. Here also the group E score the more, uh, and group A score less. Here also same with writing score. Then score based on the gender. Uh, we can see able to see that the male score better in math as compared to the female. In reading, female score better in reading, and then writing, female also score better in writing score. Then we do the one hot including. One hot encoding is the technique that convert the categorical data into the numerical data, because for the purposes of machine learning, because machine learning cannot understand the categorical data. That's why we convert the categorical data into the numerical data. That is gender, male and female. Male is considered as a 1 and a female is considered as a 0. Then we have the mapping. Then here we can see that the gender, male, for male it is 1 and female it is 0. Then also do same with the group 1, group 2, group 3, A, B, C and D, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we also do the encoding technique with same the race level and the master degree. Then we printed, here we can see that all are converted into the numerical data, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then we don't require the PD dummies library, that we don't require. Removing, then and then here we have dropped the columns of a average score, as we don't need further for the prediction. uh, then after training the data set by the sklearn model for selection, then splitting the data in train, test and train test then we have used the random forest technique. Why we use random forest technique uh, by, because it has a further advantage, that is a inseparable machine learning technique advantage, handle complex relationship, avoid overfitting and predict accurately. Here we got applied the random forest technique, and here we got the prediction of 0.99.7%. Mm. Then back to my presentation. uh, then the conclusion I got from this task, through this analysis, we were able to develop the predictive model that can accurately predict the score or math score of a student based on the various key factor, as we discussed: gender, race, ethnicity, parental level of education, etc. And my recommendation for our finding to help the educator to institute the high risk and provide the testicle and investigation to improve. Further research work focuses data set include other subject target needs, etc. Then sorry. Here are the few references I got, that data set from the Kaggle, and the feature selection rig I uploaded. You can learn from the selection technique from this link, and the logistic regression. I am done with my presentation. Q&A. If you have any thoughts and suggestion to my presentation, you don't hesitate to ask me.
Yes, Pratik, your
Hello.
presentation is quite good. As I can see,
Okay.
there is a lot of improvement from the previous presentation. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
At one place you said that you used random forest for predicting. Okay.
Yes.
So you said
Yes.
that
Yes.
random forest prevents the overfitting problem. So can you tell me what is the overfitting
Yes.
problem in machine learning?
uh, Overfeeding for problem means avoiding the unwanted material, means data. uh, we can explore the data that is required. We don't need the that we don't need to require the unwanted data, that is overfitting, I think.
Okay, we cannot say unwanted, but most relevant means if you are predicting
Most
something,
relevant.
you are using most relevant data as compared to the
That
that is not most relevant. Okay, am I right?
That covers all the point required for the predicting or analyzing the model.
Okay, perfect.
Uh,
Okay, I will
uh,
provide you feedback and scores on your email.
thank you for your time and attention. You can contact me through my contact number and mail ID. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Sweta. You can start your presentation. Sweta, are you there?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible as well as visible.
Can
You
I
can
share my screen?
Yeah, sure. You can share your screen and
Thank
start
you.
your presentation.
Good evening, all. My name is G. Shweta from Cloud Computing Department. Today, I am going to present a topic on creation of Elastic Beanstalk. Before getting into a topic, let me show you an example for Elastic Beanstalk. Suppose you are the host of this website hackveda.in. If you want to monitoring this website by who are all logging into this website, at which time they are logging, at which time they are log out. These are the monitoring section is handled by Elastic Beanstalk. Sorry, ma'am, my net is lowing. That's why I.
No problem. Are you able to continue with the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I continue?
Yeah, sure.
These are the intakes of this presentation. First, what is AWS? Basically, AWS is a cloud computing platform provided by Amazon. These are the AWS is a combination of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These are the combination together is a AWS, and it is also a online platform that provide a scalable and cost-effective cloud computing solution, and it is also a easy to use. We can access data from anywhere in the world at any time, and it is also provide cost effective. That means you only pay for what you use. We need not to pay everything. And the example for AWS is a real-time image processing with the AWS. Problems before arrived Elastic Beanstalk. First, large setup. Let us imagine a situation you want to set up a supermarket. There you have to create your store and hiring the staff and manufacturing the product, and also you have to sell these products. Similarly, when we are deploying our application, we have to set up our configuration manually, starting from the
environment you want to set up, and environment version, and also what type of language you want. These are the things. These are the problems arrived before Elastic Beanstalk, and the lack of scalability. Consider a situation you are arranging a family function. Then you have invited only 20 people and ordered 20 food only. But unexpectedly, 50 people came into the party. That lack of food availabilities happen. Similarly, when we are deploying our application, there is also a lack of scalability happen, like configuration lacking. These are the problems arrived before Elastic Beanstalk, and also work only on a mission. Let us consider another situation when we bought a new toy from the toy factory. It's worked very perfectly at the toy factory, but it does not work in our home. Similarly, when we are deploying our application only works on my mission. It does not work on other mission. This is also the one of the main problem before Elastic Beanstalk. And what is Elastic Beanstalk? Basically, Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service, and that offers simplifies the deploying and managing and scaling the web application, and also it automatic the infrastructure provision and auto scaling and with various programming language. Developer can only focus on the code rather than the implementation process. It also supports customization and monitoring and a seamless update, making it is an effective choice for rapid application deployment. For example, consider the same example. When you are a owner of the store, you have to create your store by hiring the staffs, creating the store, and marketing and selling the product. These are the things we have to do by our own self. It does not in Elastic Beanstalk. We don't have these steps. We only focus on the code rather than the implementation process, like infrastructure, environment, and environment type. These are the things we need not to consider. Example, Amazon. In Amazon, we only focus on the marketing and scaling. We need not to focus on the infrastructure. Components of Elastic Beanstalk application. When we are deploying an application, you have to set an environment, and you also set up a platform, and we have to set up a application version, and finally we have to set up configuration. Working principle of Elastic Beanstalk. First, we have to create an application. For example, you are developing an application like Instagram. First, we have to develop our application based on the requirement by the user or the client. Then the second step is upload version. In upload version, we have to set up what type of language we use and what type of configuration we want, and what type of environment you want. These are the steps carried out in upload version. And the next step is launch environment. And the final step is manage or monitoring the environment. In case of any error occurred in manage or monitoring environment, we have to re-update our updated version by using the upload version. For example, if you are using a Instagram Meta version 1.1, some errors or bug happen in that application. We have to update our version like Instagram Meta version 1.2. That's it. And benefits of Elastic Beanstalk. We have a plenty number of benefits in Elastic Beanstalk, starting from the developer productivity. In developer productivity, we have to only focus on the application. We need not to focus on the implementation process. And another benefits is auto scaling option. In auto scaling option, for example, if you are developing an application, you can scaling your application increase or decrease based on your requirement. and easy to start. It is a easy application, anyone can access, and it is free of cost. Free trial is also available. And the next step is customization. We can customize our application based on your requirement and the cost effective. This cost effective means we need not to pay everything. We only pay what you use. And the final one is management and update. These are the benefits of Elastic Beanstalk. And let me show you a demonstration of my creation of Elastic Beanstalk. First, we have to log in into our AWS cloud. And sign in into the console. Choose services. Under services, choose all services. Under all services, we have to choose Elastic Beanstalk. Then click on to the create application. Then this is the first step of creation of Elastic Beanstalk. First step is configuration environment. Under configuration environment, we have environment tier. Under environment tier, we have a web server environment and worker environment. Web server environment is like a front end of the website. It is used to run a website or web application or a web API. And the worker environment is just like a backend. It is used for run a worker application that process long running workloads on demand or perform tasks on a schedule. I'm choosing a web server environment because I am developing my front end. Then click on to the application name, give any name based on your application. I'm just giving XYZ. Then the next step is environment information. In environment information, that environment name is given as a default based on your application name. Then you have to set the domain name. I am setting the domain name as a YUDC. Check it is available or not. It is available. Then in environment description, you have to give any description for your web application. Since I'm using I am giving just web development. In platform type, we have a two platform type, managed platform type and custom platform type. Since I'm using a free trial account, my custom platform option is disabled, so that I'm choosing a managed platform type. And under a platform, I'm choosing a Python. You can choose any language you want. And this is a recommended version for my Python. Then the application code. There are three types of application code. One is sample application, and another one is existing version, and another one is upload your code. I'm just creating a sample application, so that I'm clicking on to the sample application. Then the preset. Since I'm using a free trial account, so that I'm eligible only for single instance. Then click on to the next. Then the next step is configuration service access. This is a security service for your application. For example, you are sending a packet to your web application. it is secure. It check it is secured or not. If it is secure, it allows to your website. It does not secure. It does not allow you to a website. Then click onto the service role. We have a two service role. One is create and use a new service role. Another one is use a existing service role. I'm just clicking a use a existing service role. Then existing service role is leave it as a default. The existing IMA role must have the required IMA manager policy. Then EC2 keypad. I am already created my EC2 keypad, so that I'm clicking onto that path SWETHA.Linux. Then EC2 instance profile. Since I don't have EC2 profile instance because it is not eligible for a free trial account, so that I don't have that. So I just leave it as a blank. Then click on to the next. Then the third, fourth, and fifth steps are optional. The steps, if you want to require additional features to your website, you can also add these features to your website. This is a setup a networking, database, and tags to your website. This is also a VPC. This is a security provides to your website. And the instance type, if you want to add any instance type, you can also add these. And if you have any database to the system, you can add your database here. And if you have any tags in your web application, you can also add these tags here. Then click on to the next. I don't have these, so that I'm leave it as a default. Then the next step is, it is also an optional step, configure instant traffic and scaling. I am leave it as a default. This is a security group. And the capacity. If you want to increase your capacity to your web application, you can also increase by using this method. And click on to the next. This is also the optional step. If you want to monitoring or updating your website, you can also add these features to your website. Then click on to the next. Then you reviewed your web application. What are the things which you entered before? Then click on to the submit. This may take a few minutes to create. I'm just showing you another. This is the final output of this creation of Elastic Beanstalk, which I created previously. These are the limitation of Elastic Beanstalk. First one is limited customization. Let us consider a scenario. You are developing a web application. That application requires a special server configuration for optimal performance of that website. Since Elastic Beanstalk does not have that kind of custom packages, so that it does not provide so that it does not provide special configuration to that application. Example, Python web application that require a specific Python interpreter to run in the browser. Then the next step is a limited support platform. Imagine you are developing a web application based on Haskell programming language, but in Elastic Beanstalk, it will accommodate with some other popular languages like Python or Java because it does not have a Haskell programming language as default. Then the other step is pricing complexity. When you are deploying a web application using a Elastic Beanstalk, your application includes the front end and the back end databases. It is abstract and providing the management of the easy to instance for the web server and also a RDS database for data storage. Then the final limitations of Elastic Beanstalk is a complex application. Well, suited for a simpler application, Elastic Beanstalk it does not suitable for complex application because it has the only default custom packages. It does not suitable for complex application. It is only suitable for a simpler application, which we are created before. Then the alternatives of Elastic Beanstalk. Heroku. Heroku is a platform as a service, and also Elastic Beanstalk is also a platform as a service that simplifies the application deployment, and it is also easy to use, and it is also support multiple programming language. This will support Haskell programming language also. Google App Engine. Google App Engine is also a fully managed serverless platform for deploying and hosting a web application at scale. And you can choose from several popular languages, libraries, and framework to develop your application. And then App Engines take care of your provisioning service and scaling your application. And also it is app instance based on the demand. Example, Android messaging. Conclusion. As we see before, the Elastic Beanstalk simplify the application deployment and monitoring, and also managing the web server and web browser also, freeing the developer from infrastructure complexity, and it is also automated scaling, easy update, and integrated monitoring, and also it is enhanced the development speed and reliability, and it is also a support various programming language and integrated with the AWS service like RDS, easy to instance, and Elastic Beanstalks offer a flexibility by abstracting the infrastructure task, and it is also empower the developer to concentrate on creating and refining the application rather than the implementation process. And it is also a efficiency of AWS cloud environment. These are the references I used for creating this presentation. Thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me now or mail at this mail.
Yeah, Shweta, your presentation is quite good. Your flow was also quite good. Okay, if I want to ask that if you want to test the changes before deployment, then what is the best way you think?
Ma'am, can you repeat this question again?
If you want to test the changes that we have made before the deployment, then what is the best way you think you will be using to test the changes?
Test the changes in the sense, ma'am.
Whatever changes like you are processing and any changes you feel and before deployment that it should be perfect or your changes are saved. So what is the best way you think?
I want to add additional programming languages. Since AWS has a lesser number of programming languages like Python, Java, and some popular languages only it has. It does not have some other languages. I am just developing that application based on new other languages.
Okay, you can read more about it, explore about it, so you will get to know more about it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
The rest your presentation was good. I will provide you scores on your email.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. What about my communication and story of this presentation?
Yeah, that's quite good. And basically a flow was also maintained throughout the presentation. That is the most important point while you are presenting, that you are connecting one thing from the another thing. What you said previously, you are connecting it. This is the very good point.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And my internet connection was slightly disturbed. Sorry, ma'am.
No problem. I can understand about it. No
okay.
issues.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. now we are not left with any more interns, so we are wrapping up our session here. Thank you, everyone.